Hi, welcome back to my shed. Thanks for coming. Now I've got a big clock. It's not in the best of shape, but I hope you'll like it. Let's have a look. Here it is. This belongs to a colleague of mine. I'll call him Richard, because that's his name and I don't have the imagination to come up with a decent alias. And this clock belonged to his dad, and sadly he's no longer with us, so that makes it a little bit special. In the spring, Richard was putting the clocks forward, as we do in the UK. They go forward 1 hour every springtime. And whilst he was doing this, he dropped it on the floor to cause this dent and smash the glass. So I've already ordered the new glass. So I began my search on the internet looking for companies that would cut glass into custom sizes and shapes, and really struggled to find anything that came in at a reasonable price. Everything sort of come out at the £40–50 mark, which seemed a bit much for an old clock. So I found this site, plasticsheets.com, and they cut perspex into custom sizes. So took the circumference of 200mm and the thickness of the glass is 2mm, and you simply pop in what you want onto the side. So a 2mm thickness. We don't want length and width, we want shapes and letters. Acrylic perspex shape cut to size. Circle, clear, still clear, 2mm, and the measurement in millimeters is 200. Oh, it's automatic because it's circle. Yeah, polished edges, whatever. We don't need screw holes, we don't need screws, we don't need screw covers. Polish and cleaners, don't need adhesives, don't need. So the whole thing just costs £1.50. And that's as simple as that. But you can see that you really could get whatever you want, even if you want unusual shapes with 12 corners, they'll do it. And there's the shipping price, £6.95. So for the grand total of £8.45, we've got a new clock face being delivered in 3 to 5 days. Okay, so with all that waffle out of the way, let's try and get into this. There we go. Now I was thinking of trying to keep the dent in because that's now part of the clock's history, but it's quite a thin piece of metal, so it is going to need to be bent out and put back into some sort of shape just to get the perspex in. Otherwise I'm going to have to start cutting the perspex. So this is a Metatec, and the model is an SS101, and there's some unusual screws there. And there we go, and it's a 5mm nut with a hole in the top. Okay, so Metatec, it may sound like something from a Marvel movie, but it's actually a company that was founded in 1941, and at that time they manufactured boxes for ammunition and bombs. They were founded in Durham, Norfolk, and they started making clocks in 1947. This one's more from the 60s. I think it's, yeah, well, somewhere between 60 and 69. Maybe when we get in here we'll be able to find a manufacturing date, but doubtful really. And apparently Metatec, the name is still being used to make clocks today by a clock manufacturer in Derbyshire somewhere, according to Wiki. Okay. Okay. Gotta be careful of this broken glass going everywhere. It's so thin and delicate. Put that on that line, just to give some idea of how bent it is. These are fine. So all I'm doing is just putting tiny amounts of pressure on where I can see that it's a little bit bent. Just trying to ease it back into shape. And that's quite good. There might be a slight bend. If we go back on this line now, oh, that's quite good. I'll pop it to the side. I won't put it back on until everything's clean and as we like it. I'll have a look at this wire. There's not even any adhesive left on this tape. There's no adhesive whatsoever. I'm just going to place a little mark on there and on the wire to keep the polarity because obviously there's no brown, red or blue wires on here. I don't think polarity would really matter in something like this, but I'll keep it anyway. Right, so I'm going to try and open these up so that I can reuse them. Hopefully I'll be able to open them without destroying them. Might be easier said than done. I think perhaps I can force this down there onto a solid surface. That might work. That was a struggle, but I've managed to open it enough now to be able to get the wire in and clamp it back round. I'll just do the other one. There you go, that one's a bit more real time. It just goes to show that it's easy when you know how. They will probably be okay, but I'm not happy with probably, so I'm going to solder them just to make sure that that connection is 100%. I'm just going to pop a little solder on them. Whack the soldering iron up to 480 because that's quite a lot of metal to heat up there. So I'm going to heat up, get really nice and hot in the whole area first. They are now better than factory, probably. I will keep this off-cut wire just in case Richard wants the original repair putting back again, and if he does, I'll gladly do it, and I'll re-splice the two wires back together with solder though, just to make it a little stronger. Okay, I'll just give this a quick clean up inside. Give it a bit of low calorie alcohol. Only 1 cal per squirt. Well, that just came off there. I'll glue that back in as well. I don't think that's very important at all, but I'll glue it back on. There's actually a crack there as well. I could solder weld across here, where you take the soldering iron and just try to melt the crack together. But this adhesive, it's a type of super glue. It should be adequate for that. A bit of burning in there, which I did notice on the wire that I cut off where it connects here. So a bit of melt, a bit of heat's been in there. Probably should have cleaned this up before I put the wire back in, but I'll give it a go, see what I can do. That's not perfect, it's better. Right, I'm not 100% satisfied with how these are drying out, so I'm going to try a different pen. I've got two that I can try. I've got a paint pen and a permanent marker. I don't think I'm going to get anywhere near a match. See how they dry. Well, that one covers lovely. Let's see how it dries. Right, I think I'm going to go with the paint because I can dull that off more than I can the permanent marker. So I'll try and get the permanent marker off again. There we go. Just retouch. And you know, I'm not trying to make it look brand new. I just want it to look better than what it does. Well, I've just had a horrible time. So as I was putting the paint pens away, I've got a white one and I didn't realise it had dripped onto the clock face, so just here. And where it dripped, when I wiped it off, it just took the black paint straight off. So you got two big silver patches. So I've had to fill those in with paint as well, with black paint. It's not a great job. I mean, it's just not a good enough colour match. And I've also had to fill in across here in the white, just to complete the line. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that for the clock face. Now, I'll put on the second hand first. Right, now turn my attention to this. I think the first thing I'll do is give it a quick clean. Again, I don't want it to look brand new. I just, you know, want to get rid of anything that might corrode it or make it look worse in future. Oh, well, it's a perfect fit. And again, I don't want to take that dent all the way out because that's now part of the clock's history. I could form it. I could get a little forming tool in there and just tap away with a hammer and make it round again. I really don't think I want to do it because that drop happened. So I think I'm going to leave it at that. It's strange because this lovely chrome bit is actually covered by that. So that's a chromed face, and then it's painted on, and there's no chrome left showing. Very strange. So there it is, all back together. So all it needs me to do now is switch it on, make sure it works. Let's give it a go. It's plugged in. It's now switched on. Is it working? Yes, it is. That's a lovely smooth action. So what do you think about the wonky top? Was I right to leave it bent? Do you think I should have straightened it out? Not straightened it. Should I have rounded it out? I still think it looks right like that, but let me know in the comments, and obviously if Richard does want it rounded, I'll round it out. That's not a problem at all. Obviously don't take this as a tutorial. I'm not a clock repairer, as you can tell. But yeah, if you enjoyed it and you'd like to see more random stuff that I might fix in my shed, then please give it a like, give a subscribe, leave a comment, interact, let me know what you want to see. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time I'm in my shed. Goodbye now.